Welcome back, guys. I am Mellow7, and we're just doing a quick vlog today to talk to some kind of hopefully more or less behind-the-scene changes to the channel. When I first created my YouTube channel, I created it using my just personal email account. And the reason for that was I didn't really see this as a business or a place to share for anybody other than friends and family for the most part. That was my only real goal with it. And so I started doing some shop videos and stuff just to show people what I was working on, like I say, friends on Facebook and whatnot. Now, at some point, I put up a quick video of my new welder. I got a Lincoln 210MP a while back, and I put up a video, and people started watching it. Lots of people have watched it, actually. It's my most viewed video by a long shot. Probably more people have watched that than everything else put together. And the video quality is absolutely terrible. It is cringeworthy. It bothers me that people watch it. But it is the primary way to drive people to the site, oddly enough, although they're not interested in anything else we have on there, not a single thing probably. But that's okay. It is what it is. So at some point, I was watching a lot of Lelujo and Loki Doki, and they had started Football Manager 2018 channels, and we're in the process of kind of growing those channels, and I watched both of them grow large enough to quit their jobs and do YouTube more or less full-time. Loki Doki still doing some extra stuff. Lelujo, this is his job. And it inspired me a bit, and I wanted to try to, I wasn't really under any impression that I was going to be able to quit my job, but my job doesn't really have a huge number of hours at the moment, so if I could supplement that income in any way, shape, or form, that would be great. And since I already like playing video games, I really like doing video editing and stuff like that. In fact, I'm working towards a degree in in digital media, which includes video editing, content creation for Photoshop and 3D animation and all sorts of those things. This is kind of right down my alley. So I thought it'd be great if I could combine a bunch of my hobbies, my interests, my schoolwork, and maybe at the end of the day, I could make a couple bucks on top of that. That would be spectacular. And so as part of that overall drive and change, I needed to brand the channel something. And because I've already used Mellow7, well, not always, but for a long time, I've used Mellow7 as my gaming handle. It goes back, it was, the name comes from my grandfather. He was a bomber crewman and pilot for 3 wars, World War II through the Vietnam War. And at one point, one of his planes was Mellow7. The flight was Mellow. His plane happened to be identified as Mellow7. And that's where the name comes from. And hence the bomber in the intro and now hopefully on the top of the screen for the YouTube channel, because that's where the name came from. Anyway, so as an attempt to brand the channel Mellow7 Gaming, I started to make custom artwork, which has changed as I've got tired or didn't like what I've done and redone new stuff. But one thing I couldn't change, I couldn't create a custom URL with the Mellow7 name anywhere in it because I had used my original email address. Now, way back when, I had created a custom URL. It had let me, I don't know when, that was not my actual name, but they changed their naming process such that new custom URLs had to be based on your email account. So my email account was Eric Painter, eric.painter@gmail. It's all over there, whatever. It's what was on there at this point, as that's my name, oddly enough. And so new URLs could only be some variation of Eric Painter. Okay, I could have Eric.Painter or Eric.Painter with some numbers and extra stuff, but I couldn't make it Mellow7. I couldn't make it something completely different. So that really kind of stymied the thing. But also, if it's going to be a business, then it needs to have a separate business email account. It needs to have, everything needs to tie in to the business, ultimately. I think that just makes sense. You want to ultimately separate your personal from your business. Whether it's for liability reasons or just for separation, just so you're not getting those two worlds crossed. And so what I needed to do ultimately was change, and as I'm learning this today, I created the Mellow7 Gaming email address a little while back when I first discovered that, but I wasn't quite sure how to go one step further and make that the owner of the channel, sort of just creating a new YouTube channel and copying everything over and hoping you guys would follow. But what I've discovered today was you can go to YouTube and you can create what do they call it? A global brand or something along those lines. You can convert the channel from a personal account essentially into a business account. And that business account can have more than one owner and more than one manager. And so I was able to do that and then bring in the Mellow7 Gaming as an owner to the channel. And now we're going to wait and see what happens. The old custom URL had to be deleted before a new one could be created. It has been deleted. It shows deleted, but every time I try to create a new one, it still shows up. It takes a long time for stuff to percolate down through the Google infrastructure, so to speak, and from server to server to where you can see the changes from one to the other. That's just how databases work, unfortunately. Things take a while to adjust and to go from one to the next. So for the moment, there's still no official custom URL hooked up to the channel, but the channel is now owned, at least partially, by Mellow7 Gaming. I'm changing some of the artwork. There's a Google Plus account with Mellow7. There's an email account that you'll be able to send stuff to. You could send stuff to the old account too, for that matter, at the moment, although it probably will be dying completely due to some other issues I have with Gmail at the moment. But anyway, for the moment, both emails work. Both ways are legitimate to get a hold of me, and hopefully the changes I make will be transparent to you. You don't have to resubscribe. You don't have to make any changes. The videos are all still there. All the content's still there. We're just slowly going to migrate this as a channel owned by Eric Painter at Gmail, Eric.Painter at Gmail, to Mellow7 Gaming at Gmail, which will give us a custom URL, which will give us officially branded, yada, yada, yada. So hopefully those things will start changing. I have changed the banner across the top of the YouTube channel now. That is somehow independent of your Google Plus, although your little user icon that's there, that is dependent on the Google Plus. So right now it's just like a pink M as we wait for the Google Plus artwork to translate down into the database for YouTube. So hopefully, like I say, hopefully it'll be independent of you guys, but the plan is to be able to go forward to create a custom URL that ties into the channel, and so everything matches. So half of it's not Eric and half of it's not Mellow7. That's my plan. So if you have questions about any of this, if this is something that you're interested in, that you're trying to do as well, let me know. Maybe we can figure some of this stuff out together. Maybe I've already figured something out that you need. Maybe you figured out something that I needed. You know, I'm new to the business side of YouTube. You know, the site is monetized. You guys hopefully see ads now and then. Hopefully you even watch them. Although at the moment, I don't believe that I'm really getting any monetization. I checked the report. I made $24 earlier, but after the adpocalypse, I really don't think I've made a penny. Some of that's just because I'm small and there's not enough advertisers to go around. Some of that's because they instantly tag every single one of my videos as not suitable for advertising because they feel it has sex, violence, drugs, something terrible in it. And so then I have to do a review. And by the time they actually get around to do the review, which they have, despite the fact that their own guideline is if a video does not get 1,000 views within 24 hours, it's not eligible for a review. Essentially, they're just telling all us little guys to fuck off. But mostly it's probably less personal and more just that it costs them more money to have an individual review it than the channel actually makes. And as such, it just fiscally doesn't make any sense. But it's hard not to take it personal when you're at this level and you're trying to make something happen. When you just see your little increase that you were beginning to get just disappear because somebody else misused the system. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it is what it is. But we're working on it. We're working on trying to get a cohesive brand, a cohesive image, and match, and something that will translate through all of the videos that we upload, and everything will make sense. So, like I say, subscribe if you're new to the channel. If this is the first thing you've seen, you're interested in the type of content that we do put out, I'd love to have you. For the most part, it's gaming now. You may still see the occasional motorcycle or shop video just because I like doing them. I spend as much time in the garage as I spend in front of the computer most days, and I teach welding. So, and I love riding my motorcycle, and I live in the central coast of California. We have Big Sur, we have the Monterey Bay, Cannery Row. I've got some spectacular riding here in the area, so you'll probably continue to see some of that as well. Although it is not the point of the channel at this point anymore. So, anyway. That's it. You have any questions, let me know. You can either comment, you can email the new Mellow7 Gaming at Gmail if you like as well. Love to hear from you, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.